Welcome everyone to another episode of r/EntitledParents. In today's Reddit stories, an entitled woman tries to get OP's family evicted, and it backfired horribly on her. Let's get into these, and feel free to hit that subscribe button if you want more Reddit stories. Who knew teenage sleepovers were so dangerous? My daughter had a friend over for a sleepover last weekend. They're both 13-year-old girls. It was all fairly standard stuff. Watch crappy movies, stay up too late, eat too much junk food, you know the drill. Both kids seemed to have a nice time, and the visiting kid was nice enough for someone else's teenage child, and I really didn't think too much more about it. Until the friend's mother called me Saturday night, absolutely outraged over what I had done while her child was in my care. Was it allowing them to stay up too late? Was it the junk food? Was it the choice of film I allowed them to watch? No. My crime was far worse than that. Imagine the mother's horror when she discovered I had allowed her child to, wait for it, drink tap water. Turns out only bottled water is acceptable for her family. Now, I know in some places there are issues with drinking tap water. We live in an area though with excellent tap water quality, so I was kind of baffled what the issue was. I told her, our tap water's fine, and your kid didn't say anything at the time. But oh no, that wasn't good enough. You see, tap water has toxins in it, and it's not safe, and her family only drinks bottled water. And she is frankly shocked and disturbed that her child was associating with the child of such an awful, awful parent. And that I could be rest assured she would be calling CPS first thing Monday to have my child removed from such a harmful environment. I was just kind of stunned and didn't really say anything. I'd love to know where she thinks bottled water companies get their water from. And second, we're in Australia and CPS isn't a thing here, so yeah. They're out there. And OP actually has a follow-up to this post regarding the same mother. So last night, my wife and I went to an arena concert of a band that we both idolized from childhood. 2 of 4 original members, still a fun show, and lead guitarist is still amazing. My daughter and her friend from last week's incident have recently discovered the band, and kind of fangirled out last weekend when we mentioned we were seeing them this weekend. We were sold the tickets by another friend who couldn't go, so we only had the 2 tickets. If we had the means, I would have liked to take my daughter, but it didn't work out that way. So we bought a bunch of overpriced merch, as you do, including a t-shirt for our daughter, and a matching one for her friend with the crazy bottled water mother. I told her it would be a nice no hard feelings gesture, certainly to the kid, and hopefully to the mother. My daughter took off on her bike to her friend's house this morning to give her the shirt and hang out listening to 40-year-old songs that were cool before I was born. So guess who just called? Was she calling to say thanks for the nice gift for her kid and apologize for overreacting last weekend? No. No, she wasn't. Her family doesn't need charity, and she is more than capable of buying her child clothes if she needs them. And even so, she wouldn't buy her child clothes advertising something so vile. And I can rest assured, this seems to be a go-to phrase for her, that she has thrown the t-shirt into the rubbish, and she'll thank me to stay out of her family's business. And with that, she hung up on me. This is the vile t-shirt in question. Talk about no good deed goes unpunished. Entitled Father wants me to stop cooking in my own home. A couple nights ago, I was cooking for myself, which is a rare thing these days, thanks depression. I was making a pasta bake with a bacon tomato sauce that I wanted to try. It was going well, basically all finished. I was just waiting for the garlic bread to cook in the oven. Now, the extractor fan for my kitchen is on the wall right near the pavement outside, so that's where it vents the heat and whatnot from cooking. I can also hear people's conversations through this hole, like word for word if the road is quiet. Can be pretty funny sometimes. I'm about to check the oven when I hear a knock at my front window and see an angry-looking dude staring at me. Like he was standing so close to my front window he could see me through the net curtains. I cautiously went to the door in my cooking apron with a large wooden spoon. What was I gonna do, stir him? Entitled Dad says, "Are you cooking?" Yeah, some pasta," I replied. "Can you stop? The smell is making my daughter feel ill." That's not my problem, sir." "How dare you? It's making my daughter ill. Now stop it right now." "Sir, I'm in my own home. I'm allowed to cook whatever I want. If the smell is making someone sick, go away from the smell." Entitled Dad scoffs and stomps off. I then hear the entitled dad talking outside through the extractor fan hole. "He won't stop. He was very rude to me and threatened me with a rolling pin." Did I? Rolling pin for making pasta, huh? Sure. The next part was a little hard to hear. He must have walked further up or down the pavement or something, as I couldn't hear all of it. I think he was on the phone to his poor wife, cause not long after, a woman came hurrying up to my window and tapped on it. "Hello? My husband said you made my daughter sick?" said the mother. "Miss, I was cooking dinner in my kitchen. Your other half then banged on my window saying the smell made your kid ill. Mother says nothing and just walks away in silence. Afterwards, I heard nothing from the fan hole. No idea what happened. My food was nice though. A little dry, though I was distracted. Entitled woman tries to get family evicted, and it backfires. My boyfriend just told me this story, and I thought it belonged here. When he was 14, he was living with his mom and sister on a housing estate. It was summer, and he liked a bit of light in his upstairs room, so he left the curtains open at all times. That included when he was getting dressed and after having a shower. So if you purposefully stared at his window, you could only see him from his waist up. Well, their neighbor did not like that one bit. She went pounding on their door, yelling at my mother-in-law that her son was a disgrace, hanging around always naked and exposing himself to her daughter, same age as him. My mother-in-law told her that he had every right to do whatever he wanted in his bedroom, and that if they didn't want to see him, all they needed to do was not look. A couple of days went by, and lo and behold, the police showed up at their door. Turned out the neighbor had been filming and taking pictures of my boyfriend to show to the housing people as evidence of his wrongdoing to get them kicked out. Except that the housing office called the police on her for taking pictures and videos of an underage kid and kicked her and her family out. Now that is just instant karma. Sure, complaining about something like that would have been a little more understandable if he was actually flashing his manhood in front of the window, but like OP said, you could only see him from his waist up, so essentially it would just be like looking at a shirtless person. Moral of the story, don't take pictures of people through their window, especially not underage people. That's not gonna work out very well for you. I just got off the phone with the IRS. I hope you enjoy prison. Well, I never thought I'd post here. It's tax season, so this memory popped in my head again. Just a little backstory, my mother is a massive narcissist. She acts as if everyone owes her everything, especially money. She is by far the most entitled person I've ever met. A month after my 19th birthday, so this was in November, I decided I wanted to move to a different state with my now husband in 2 weeks. We've been together for 2 years at this point, and we would finish paying my mother's bills until we moved. So we told my mom's wife first since she was home and asked why she wasn't in class that night. She was supportive and said she just wanted me to be happy, and I knew she was going to get to school and tell my mother. We were all in college, taking night classes. Sure enough, that's what happened. My mother left school early that night. She was screaming and yelling at my now husband about how he's garbage, and that he's the reason everything bad happened in my life since the moment I was born, etc. So he says F you and walks away to start packing. My mother is yelling at me because I didn't defend her. I didn't say anything at all, and she is pissed. She tells her wife she doesn't want us there, and her wife says to kick us out then. So she does just that. I told her we didn't have money or a place to go until payday, and she said she didn't care. January rolls around, and she's being nice, asking how I'm doing, saying she's missing me, etc. I thought it was sketchy, but my big heart was giving her a chance. Day 2 of talking to her again, and she says, "When you get your W-2, take a picture of it so I can do taxes for you." I'm thinking nothing of it because she has done it since I was 16. Well, I get them early. My husband's uncle shows me how to file my taxes and do it correctly, so I don't have to rely or wait on anyone to do it. She finds out come February 1st that I've already filed them, and it sent her into a rage. "Did you get your W-2 yet?" Me trying to keep it brief. Yes, and I already filed my taxes. "You did what?" Me confused. Yeah, husband's uncle showed me how to do it properly, so I don't have to wait on anyone to do it for me anymore. "Did you put that anyone can claim you as a dependent?" Me getting a bit nervous. No, the website I used asked me questions and I answered them correctly, which is how I know I couldn't be claimed. "That was my money. You stole my money from me. You lied on your taxes and you can go to prison for that. I'm going to call the IRS on you." She was trying to scare me because she knew how I was. She then hangs up. I start to get worried because I believed everything she had ever said up until that moment, but also realizing she is full of crap as I'm talking to my husband's aunt and uncle about it. We were all in the car. My phone rings 32 seconds later, and it's my mother. "I just got off the phone with the IRS. You're going to prison for the rest of your life." Me laughing. "Okay, sure." Entitled mom huffs, then hangs up. From that moment on, I realized she was completely full of it because growing up, she dealt with the IRS a lot and would be on hold for hours before reaching someone to talk to, so there was absolutely no way she reached someone that fast. This was r/Entitled Parents. If you enjoyed, slap that like button like it owes you money, and subscribe if you want to see more of these. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.